Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit today about how to be effective with women in the bar. A lot of what I talk about on my channel, it certainly downplays, and I don't want to knock the bars too hard. Of course, there's a lot of us as men that, yes, you go out in the nighttime scene, you go out on the weekends, and you go into these environments, and yeah, for a lot of us, we're all trying to meet people when we are in this sort of setting, and everything I talk about here, it's not my way is the only way and my way is the right way. Of course, I always am talking up cold approach, and there's many reasons why I feel that that's superior. But with that said, yes, you are still going to have these nights where you find yourself out in a bar. Yes, you are going to still find these moments where you're attracted to somebody and you want to try to make something happen and you want to get success out of these situations, of course. And that's just a part of living your life and having a good time, having fun, all this kind of stuff. So as I said, I don't want to downplay it too much, but I wanted to give you one little piece that you can hopefully use or utilize to make yourself more effective in a bar, in an environment that can be very hostile and that can just not typically yield you the results you're probably after. So I want to basically give you guys a challenge today. I want to put something forth to you for your consideration, and hopefully you can try this one time. And I want you to experiment with yourself. I want you to experiment on one of your weekend nights, and hopefully you can see what I mean here. And hopefully if you do what I'm telling you to do, you'll actually walk out of that bar with perhaps some more meaningful connections that might actually go somewhere for you, as opposed to the opposite end of the situation where you don't do what I'm telling you to do here. And this is very simple. This is the quote-unquote tip. This is the quote-unquote trick that's absolutely nothing amazing. It's a very simple thing. What it is actually the challenge I have for you is to spend an entire night out at the bar one point in time, completely free from drinking any alcohol. Now, the small caveat that I have for you is actually to make believe or pretend or get other people to think that you are drinking alcohol. And the way you're going to do this is just order yourself a soda water with a lime in it or something, or order any sort of drink, a soda that people would just not otherwise immediately know right off the bat that you're drinking something other than alcohol, okay? This is such a big piece, guys. Of course, we all know, it goes without saying, the more and more you consume, the more and more whittled down you become as a sharp, like a articulate man, a well put together person. You as you slide down this trackway when you're out and about at night, and the more drinks keep going down and down, you just become less and less effective. Your senses and your wits and all this kind of stuff, they obviously get altered, and most of the time this leads you to doing stupid things, saying stupid things, having crappy interactions, let's say, with women. And it's very frustrating because, like, how many of us have all done this one before, where you break the ice, you're talking to somebody, you're interested in them, and it's just by virtue of the fact that you're more and more intoxicated, things inevitably go sideways, and her interest probably wanes, and she knows that you're just as messed up as maybe she is, or maybe she's not that intoxicated as far as you are, but certainly these things shine through, and it rarely leads to a positive outcome or a situation where you're actually going to see the person again. So imagine this, guys. Think about, if any of you guys have either seen the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper or The Matrix, let's say, I like to use these examples. This is kind of the way that I approach this concept and think about this. But in both of those circumstances, those movies, both of those men had this ability to just be thinking on like a higher level of cognition, let's say. They just, like, Neo was able to like dodge bullets and do all this kind of crazy stuff that he was able to do in his, with his character there, because he had this ability to outgame the Matrix, and he was able to maneuver around and do these amazing things. And the same thing with the Bradley Cooper character in Limitless. It's like he takes this magical pill, this drug or whatever, that just gives him this like super high like brain functioning like power sort of thing, but it allows him to navigate through his life and his situations and just kick ass and kill it. And that is like very strangely, like very funny, like in that same way, if you can think of it like this, like everybody that's in the bar that's consuming, getting drunker and drunker and drunker, it's like when you're the one that's not doing that, you maintain your mental abilities, let's say, you maintain your highest like level of functioning. You, in the same regard, are like Neo. You're like Bradley Cooper in that instance where you're able to outperform all the other guys around you for the most part, right? And I want to put you guys up to this, and I want you to do a couple things if you actually try to do what I'm seeing here. Number one, I want you to, like I said, spend the entire night there, and I want you to witness the change in people that comes about from, let's say, the 9 or 10 o'clock-ish hour to like 2 a.m. when the bars are shutting down and everybody's leaving, and just look at the behavior of all the men in there. Look at the behavior of all the women in there. Take stock of that. But I also want you to observe yourself, and I want you to observe how you're acting in that sort of circumstance under those sorts of pretenses. I want you to really tune into the words that are coming out of your mouth, the types of conversations that you're having. Even above and beyond that, like just think about the way you're moving, your posture, the way you're standing, the level of performance that you're able to apply in that sort of situation because of the fact that you are like completely sober and everybody else around you maybe thinks that you might just be hanging in and drinking along with the rest of them at the same pace, but you have this little secret thing going on inside of you. It's like, no, you are on a whole different mental level in that sort of situation, that sort of scenario, when that's your case, right? When you're completely sober, you've got all your mental faculties about you. I want you to go up and test this, and I want you to try to talk to girls, and I want you to appreciate and notice the difference in the types of conversations you're able to have with that sort of approach, right? How smooth you are, the way you talk, like I said, the way you move, the way you do all this stuff. And it's really funny when you're in that sort of situation and you're around people that are like mostly much more intoxicated than you are. You actually kind of stand out in people's eyes. People actually notice this in a positive way. And like I said, they don't really know your secret. They don't really know what you're up to. But I guarantee you guys, you will get a noticeably different response from women. You will, I think, like the nights that I've had like the quote unquote most success when actually connecting with people and finding girls that I would actually see again at a later point in time, it came about on a sort of night like this where I had something else going on and I had to drive or something and I wasn't in the position to be able to drink at all. And it's like when you inject yourself and you go into that sort of environment with that sort of approach, your whole experience is different. And this is, like I said, this is the challenge. I know it's like tempting. You want to be along with the party. You want to be mixing in with everybody else and just doing what everybody else is doing there. And of course, like, yes, it's fun to go out and have some drinks and catch a little buzz and be in an environment like that from time to time. But just do what I'm saying, guys. Try this once, okay? And I guarantee you, when you have these observations and you really see what I'm talking about here, you're going to develop this different approach that, you know, it's one thing if you're just wanting to go out and hang out with your buddies and have some drinks and blow off steam. But if you are the type of guy that goes out and you're trying to meet some new people, and we all do this, guys, like don't lie to yourself. Like you don't have to be ashamed of that. There's nothing wrong with this. Every man does this. Women do this. Everybody does this, right? You don't have to be ashamed of that. But what I'm saying here is like you're actually going to start thinking on different terms. And like when this is your case, when you are actually going out with the intent where you would like to meet some people or you would like to try to make some new connections, you might actually start looking forward to being that guy in the bar that's not drinking, being this kind of like Superman character that stands out and is just acts in a completely different way, acts in a much more put together, composed sort of manner. Your results are going to be much better, I guarantee you. Just try this out, guys. Hear me out. I know it might sound like a not fun thing to do. It might sound like the square thing to do. It might sound like just something that's not that appealing to you, but just take the challenge. Give it a chance. I want you to see what I'm talking about here, and I want you to witness and really have the sort of different quote-unquote excess that comes along with this sort of, you know, approach in a bar versus your normal, what you've been doing probably your whole life, where you go in there, you're down in a couple drinks like every hour, and by the end of the night, you're just a completely different person, right? That most of the time is probably not going to get anywhere with any woman. It's just the way it goes for most of us. So I hope you guys can understand that. I hope that means something to you. I hope you can try this. I'd like to know down in the comments section if you actually get out and do this in one of your nights and you challenge yourself. I want to know how it goes for you. I want to know what you think of all this stuff. So, all right, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you real soon.